Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you please wait a second?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Aparna, how are you? Come on this side.
Hi, Pawan. Thank you. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So, Aparna, do you want to learn the .NET? Can you explain me like on which area and you want to learn and how you are familiar with the .NET thing?
Yeah, actually, I think I have shared the points I'm looking forward to cover up in the sessions. I'm not sure whether you received it or not.
Sorry, but I did not receive the points. So,
Okay.
can you explain me like
.NET,
yeah.
the framework, as well as in the ch1, the ASP.NET one.
Okay, so you ever work on the C# thing?
Yeah, many years back, I have worked on creating one project in ASP.NET. And I don't clearly remember which one I used. It was for my college project, whether it was VB or ch. Okay. So I have a little bit hands-on experience on that. And for I have developed one console ch application recently. So these are the two experience I have.
So it means you want to learn the C# from the beginning and the console and the ASP.NET, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So can
In
you
detail, I say that it will be able to pursue a job career in that going forward.
okay, so so currently you are studying or you are working somewhere?
Currently, I'm working as an ET tester.
Okay, so you are working as a QA.
Yes.
Okay. On which location? Like you are out of India?
Yes, I'm out of India.
Okay, okay. Okay, so give me 2 minutes, then we will start the introduction of the C# and .NET. Okay.
Yes, sure, go ahead.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, I can see.
Okay. So, Aparna, have you ever worked on the C language? Ever learned the C? Anything you know about the C language?
Yes, I know C, C++.
Okay. So, you know the C, in C language, we are just works on the procedures functions. If you remember, we just create the function
Yeah,
and then
control application.
hmm,
Yeah, I remember.
yeah. So actually, the C language was a function-oriented programming language, or we can say that it is structure programming. Okay. Then the issue with structure programming was suppose you create a method to get something. For example, you are calculating the simple interest for a price, and you need the same thing in another program while you are working on C. Okay, so what you need to do, you need to create another method, another function there to use the functionality. So I mean, we cannot reuse the code in structure programming. Do you understand, like what I just explained?
No, I didn't get what you mean by the structure programming. We cannot reuse.
Okay, so you are familiar with OOPS, where we created the classes and create the
Yeah.
objects. Yeah. So currently we are following the OOPS logic, but before the OOPS, like C programming, when we work C programming, so in C programming we just create the functions for a logic. So programming is what? It is just to divide the complete software in small modules. So small modules is what? That is a function. So in C language, if we are creating small modules, we just create functions. But the problem with the C language is that we cannot reuse the code. If we want to write the same logic in another program, then we just need to copy the same code. We cannot reuse that part.
Correct.
Yeah. So so if we are writing the repeated code again and again, so this increase the complexity of the program. So suppose you are writing, so you are working on a big software, so you are writing about 50,000 of line in the same file. So this is very hard to debug the code, very hard to analyze the problem, and the code complexity is very high because we were not able to reuse the code. Okay.
Yeah,
so,
correct.
So to overcome the situation, the OOPS comes in account. So when OOPS comes, start using into the programming, we have the classes and objects here. Okay. So suppose we are writing a common functionality, we are writing a common program. Then what we do here, we just create a class and we put a function there, and we can use this class anywhere throughout the software. We just create the object of class and we start using the functionality anywhere into the software in any file. So this increases the reusability of the code. Okay.
Okay.
That's why we start working on the OOPS. So OOPS is what? OOPS is a logic which all the programming follow. So for example, you are working on Java. So Java is object oriented. It is OOPS oriented programming. In the similar way, you are working on VB.NET. This is also OOPS, support OOPS. And suppose you are working on Apex. This is also programming language. So this is also support OOPS. So all the programming these days support OOPS. Okay. Are you getting me?
Yes, I am listening.
Okay.
Hello.
In the similar way, Microsoft created a language C#. So you sometimes call it C#. So it is C#. So C# is also object-oriented programming language. So if you are developing any software using the Microsoft technology, then you use the C#. But there is also some other language provided by the Microsoft, like F# and 𝐕𝐢.NET. So there are three different type of languages in .NET. One is C#, the second is F#.
Is there any functionality difference between this C#, Visual Basics, and the F# you are telling?
Can you repeat your question? I didn't get you, like what you are asking.
No. In the .NET we can use three languages, correct? The C#, the F# and the VB.
Yeah, 𝐕𝐢.NET.
So yeah, VB.NET. Is there any clear difference between these two?
No particular difference between these three languages. This is just to depends on the programmer. Like suppose you are start to learning C#. So you are C# programmer, then you will write your program into C#. And I am a VB.NET programmer, so I will write the code into VB.NET. But there is no specific difference. They follow all the same concepts. The difference is just the syntax. Okay. So, so for example, you learn the C# and you want to also learn the VB.NET. So initially, if you remember, when Microsoft released the .NET framework, they provide VB. First, we work on the VB in Microsoft technologies. So after the VB, they created the VB.NET, the latest version of the VB. So some programmers which are working on the VB, they start learning VB.NET. But some new programmer also start learning the C# because they are not familiar with the VB. So both things are similar for them, like VB.NET or C#. So this is just the syntax related thing. Okay. Okay. So suppose you are already working on the testing as a QA. So you should be familiar, like when we develop any software, there are three things there. So suppose you are writing a Windows application or you are writing a web application. So do you know the difference between Windows and web application?
Yes.
Okay, so Windows application just run on the OS. They just need to be stored there. So exe file, if you remember. So suppose you are downloading a software like a VLC media player, then you download that from somewhere and you install that locally on your computer, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. So the application which are being installed in your computer is called Windows application. They are machine dependent application. They cannot be accessed through the internet. Okay. And the second type is web application. So web application is what you can access them using the browser if your computer has the internet connection. So you can access that application anywhere into the globe. But Windows application is only specific a computer. They can only be accessed into a specific computer. Okay, they cannot be accessed.
Is there any like in both like console, Windows and in web application, we are using the same C#. So is there any difference between the C# we use in C# we use in these three applications?
No, there is no difference in these applications. So suppose I am just coming on this point. So when you're writing any software, either it is Windows or either it is console or either it is web application, you need three things. You need a programming language to write the code. So you need to select the programming language. So suppose you are selecting the C# and you are writing a Windows application, then you can write your code in the similar way. You are developing a web application, then you need the backend language, which C# can be used there as well. So C# can be used into the Windows application and into the web application as well. Okay. The second thing is the database. So database is also similar. Either you are writing the Windows application, or you are writing the console application, or you are writing the web application. So database and the programming language you are using for the backend will be the same in any kind of application. Okay, so only the difference will come when you start the UI part. So suppose you are designing your UI in Windows, then there is different technique. And if you are designing your UI, you understand UI?
Yes, user interface, right?
User interface, which interact with the user, end user. Okay. So suppose you are designing a UI in web application, then you have the different kind of, maybe we mostly use the HTML there, and we use the CSS, we use the Bootstrap, we use the JavaScript, sometimes jQuery if you are more fancy. So these are the web technology. So for the web technology, you use the HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, and to use the .NET framework provided language, you use the ASP.NET. So if you are writing the web application, then to design the UI, you will use the ASP.NET here. Okay. So ASP.NET is used to develop the web applications, but you need the C# with the ASP.NET, plus you need the database, RDBMS. So you understand RDBMS, Relational Database Management System?
Yes.
Yeah. So we can use the SQL Server here. We can use the Oracle. We can use the MySQL here. As an RDBMS, you just need to decide when you develop your application, like which RDBMS you are going to use here. Okay. So if you are developing the web application, you need three things. You need ASP.NET, you need C#, you need SQL Server. And if you are writing Windows application, you need a user interface, which .NET already provided here, Microsoft, and you need a backend language, which is C# or F# or VB.NET, or you need the RDBMS, which is SQL Server. Okay, so as part of this course, we first learn the console application, like why we use the console application. Then we start learning the Windows application, how we develop the software into the Windows, and at the very last we start working on the ASP.NET. Okay, and currently to develop the web application, we also have a new framework, MVC, which is Model View Controller. So we also include the Model View Controller MVC framework as part of this course to develop the web application. Do you understand? Am I making myself clear?
Yes, yes, you're clear. Thank you.
So first we start working on the console application. So as part of console application, you just learn like how the OOPS concept is working. So OOPS concept is what, like how the classes works, how the objects created, constructor, inheritance, interface, delegates, events, how we create the events in C#. So all these logic will be learned as part of the console application, because console application is just a black screen window. You never develop real-time software into the console. Console is just to understand the logic. Okay. So real-time application develop only in Windows application, as a Windows application, or as a web application. Okay. So web application can be developed using the ASP.NET or using the MVC.NET. Okay. So we learn both the framework, ASP.NET and MVC framework. Okay.
Okay, Bhavan. Thank you.
Yeah. So let me share my screen. I will. Okay. So to develop any program or any software, you need a IDE, Integrated Development Environment. So suppose you are working on Java, then you need the Eclipse. Java, Sun Microsoft provide the Eclipse. And suppose you are working on the PHP, then you also have PHP also provide the IDE in a similar way. If we are working on the Microsoft technology, Microsoft provide a IDE, Visual Studio, for us to develop the application into the .NET. So you need to install the Visual Studio in your laptop, before start working on the .NET application. So Visual Studio, are you able to see my screen?
No.
Okay, so Visual Studio, this is the Visual Studio. Let me start it from the
Yes, I can see now.
just open the Visual Studio. I have already installed this Visual Studio on my computer. Okay, so are you able to see the UI? So if you
Yes.
go to file, just create new project, and you can create the Visual C# project. You can create the Windows application. You can create the web application, and these are some advanced things which we are not included as part of our course, like porting, SQLite, WCF workflow. These are different area, but we include Windows and web. Okay, and also the console this one. So suppose you are creating a console application, then what you will do, you will create the file, new project, and then you will select the Windows, and then you select the console application. There are also some different kind of application which we learn as part of our syllabus. So when we work on, then we will see most of the like what is the class library, class portable class library, empty project, Windows service. These. Okay. If you go into the other language part, then you can create the same thing as part of Visual Basic VB. You can create the console application using the VB. You can create the Windows Form application, and also you can create the web application as part of VB.NET. So if you are creating the project using the Visual Basic, then the backend language will be VB.NET, and all other things will be same. Just the backend language will be changed. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, you can also use the Visual C++ to console application. This is not in scope. And this is the Visual App Sharp. So you can also create the application using the Visual App Sharp. Okay. So we as part of this course, we are following C#. So just go to the Windows and create the console application and click on OK. So it will create a console project for you. Like this. So this is class and this is the main method. So if you work on C, we also have the main method in C, which was the entry point for the program. Correct?
Yeah, correct.
So suppose you are printing a message, console dot write line. This is just to print some message on the screen. Okay, start. Click on the start, then this will display the output. First message. Okay, so this is the console application. We will learn the console application, all the concept of the console application, but this is the basic UI for the console application. Okay.
Okay.
So, yeah. So to run the program, you just need to control F5. If you click control F5, then the output window will be displayed to you. Okay. So here is
the name one is the functionality of C#.
Yeah, this is the C# language, like a class program, static void main. This is C#.
Yeah, but the namespace functionality, right?
Namespace is something else. We will discuss the namespace when we comes on, but this is just to we can say this is just a folder for the classes. So here is one class. You can create another class as part of this namespace. You can create any number of classes here. And if you want to use this class anywhere into the other program, then you
when we discuss about the process of the computer languages, right? In C we were evolved the structures, and C++ came in to establish the class which holds the concept and the functions.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think in C++ only we have the scopes like static and the public, private, protected, those
Uh,
scopes. Yeah.
Concepts are
Oops,
same. C++,
was there? What about the namespace? It came into picture in Java or in C
yeah, in
Sharp?
both Java and C Sharp. The namespace is
Okay.
same, both the places. In Java, this is called, I think, package. Okay. So what is
Okay.
name? Actually, suppose I am just creating a class here. So don't, if you do not get the thing, then don't worry. We will have a separate session on the namespace. Okay. So just create a class here. I am creating a class. Okay. And I'm just changing the namespace. For example, test namespace. You can change it. Okay. And here you just create a class. Just create a constructor here. We will learn what is the constructor later. Okay. Create another class. Create another class here. Test class 2. Test class 2. So okay, into this namespace, test namespace, you have created two classes, test class 1 and test class 2. Okay. And you want to use these classes into the program.ca. This is also a class. Then you cannot directly use the test class 1 here. You cannot get the test class or test class 2 here due to the namespace, because this namespace is console application 11 and test class is into the different namespace, test namespace. So you cannot access them. This is the boundary for these classes. So if you want to use this test class, then you just need to use the namespace using test namespace like this. Okay. Now you can use the test class here like this.
Okay. Okay. So you are basically working somewhere, Pavan, or you're working as a trainer?
Actually, I am a senior software engineer working as a .NET analyst from previous 7 years, and currently I am working on the Salesforce from previous 1 year. So I am working as industry, and as a part time, I take the classes and train the trainee like you. So this is my
Okay.
job. But I have about 8 years of experience in software industry, working on various technology like .NET, MVC, SQL, MySQL, Salesforce, Apex, like this, Lightning, or these systems.
Okay. Oh.
Okay. Working
So
as a
you're currently in India, you're outside.
sorry.
You're currently in India?
Yeah, I
You're
am in India
in,
and working as in SSIT Software in Jaipur. If you ever come at Jaipur,
no, I didn't.
you are from India. From where?
Kerala.
Kerala. Okay. So I am from Rajasthan. You heard about Rajasthan?
Yes.
Okay. So the capital of Rajasthan is Jaipur, and I am working in a company, software company, which is Jaipur based, and my native place is Agra. The Taj Mahal.
Okay. Yeah.
So I am from Agra. So
Okay.
currently all working from home. So currently working from home.
Okay.
Okay. So you understand the namespace. What is namespace is here? This is just to the security purpose.
Okay.
But
Okay.
a complete session, 1 or 2 session on the namespace. There are a lot of things to understand the namespace. Then we will, I mean, when we start the course, then we will definitely work on the namespaces. Okay. So this is the application, and if you file new project, so if you the Windows application, just select the Windows application, then into the Windows you have the UI. In console application, you just have the black screen window. You don't have any UI for the user. But here you can have the UI like this. So you develop your forms, you design your forms. So suppose you are these are the controls you can drag and drop from here. So for example, you are putting a button here, and just drag and drop like this. This is the text boxes. So you have the UI here. So if you run this Control F5 similarly, so you will see this form like this. So the Windows application is a real-time application. So you develop your software or any application into the Windows. Okay. So console application is just to understand the logic. Windows application is to apply the logic you learn as part of console application. Okay. So if you want to write, so this is the designing part. If you want to write the C# code, then you have the backend file form1.c. This is your form name. If you want to show a message, when click on the button, so if you click on this button, then you will show this message. You will get this message. So like if you click on this button, this is showing clicked like this. Okay. So you are writing your logic into C#. You are designing your form using these controls provided by the Microsoft as part of the Windows application. So we will learn the Windows.
When you click the button, right, the property, when you got a message, okay,
Yeah.
Like the message box was not dragged and dropped, correct? It was the button was taken from the toolbox. So actually the message box.
This is the box is a class. This is C# code.
Okay. So there will be many such classes, right? For example, classes like message box, a class, and the function of that is show. And like that, how we can know, like in advance, how many such classes are there?
There are a lot of classes as part of .NET framework. Like this is the form class. Okay, so if you go like M, just type M, you can see many type of classes here: MDI, client, layout, major item. So there are about too many classes, but we never used all of the things here. We just use the things which are related to us, but .NET framework provided too many classes. Okay, so you remember, like why we are using the C#? C# is using to develop the dynamic logic here rather than the UI. You design the UI, and to develop the logic, you write your C# program into the backend.
Yeah.
Okay, so either you are writing Windows or web application, the C# will be the same. So this is your designing part. And if you want to go into the code where you will write your C#, just double click on this form. You will find the C# code into the backend. Okay.
Okay.
Yep. And the last one is web application. So if you want to create a project, just create project, website, and create the ASP.NET empty web application. Okay. So this will create you a web application here. So you can add the web form, just right click on it, add, and web form 1. So this is this web form has two parts. Web form 1.asp. This is the designing part. So you will write your HTML here. And if you want to see the C# part, then you have the web form 1.asp.cs. This is your C# code. You will write your C# code here. Okay. So if you run this program, run this software, you will this application will open into the browser webform1.asp. This is the webform page. So you will see one heading tag here, like this first page. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So this way we will work on the web application. So you understand our motive for this course, like how we will work on the things. We first work on the console, then we will work on the Windows application, then we will work on the web application. Hello?
Yeah. For consoles, right? We will not be able to cover all the properties that a console application can provide. Correct? Um, like for example, within this .NET framework, there are many classes. Okay, we will not be able to cover all the classes a framework can provide. Correct?
Yeah, we cannot cover all the classes, because if we cover all the classes, then we need 3 to 4 years to cover it.
Correct.
Yeah, because
I agree to.
Yeah.
But what's the way to know how many classes are there? Is there any books to refer, or is there any help routine inside this framework to check?
Aparna, I did not refer you to learn all the classes, because a .NET framework means this is the huge framework. Okay, there are about 4 lakhs of classes in .NET framework. And when you develop your software as a software engineer, you just need 10, 20, 50, 25, 50 classes. You just need to use them. So suppose you are working on the Excel thing. Suppose you are exporting and importing the Excel file, okay, as part of your program. And I am not importing and exporting the Excel file. We are working on 2 different projects. Okay.
Okay.
So you are working on the Excel area, and I am working on the normal SQL part. So there are classes related to the SQL database, and there are classes related to the Excel. So if I work on the SQL, then I don't need to understand the Excel area. But if you are working on the Excel area, then you need to understand that, you need to know the classes, what are the classes in that area. And also there are a lot of classes in the Excel area. You just need to focus on 3 or 4 of your use. Okay. You are starting learning all the things, then you cannot focus on the important things which frequently use in the project. So some .NET framework classes are specifically used when you start working, when you get some specific task. In that time, we learn those things. Like, okay, we got the Excel part, then we need to learn the Excel thing. So what we did in that scenario, we just spent some time on the internet to learn the Excel related classes provided by the Microsoft.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, so suppose you after 2 or 3 years, after 2 or 3 months, you got another project where you start integrating the crystal report in .NET. So you will learn the crystal report area. Other than that, you don't need to learn the crystal report.
Okay.
So there are a lot of things here. So if you go here, just right click on the web, just click on the reference, add reference. So these are the classes here. These are the assembly provided by the Microsoft.
Okay.
So these the single assembly has thousands of classes, hundred of classes, each assembly. But we never include this assembly into our project as well, because if we include all, then this will become very heavy. We cannot run this application. So we just focus on whatever we are working on. Okay.
So when a developer comes into picture, does these versions, this in company, does the versions and everything needs to be taken, installations and are taken care by the developer or by the
these things handled by the network persons.
Okay.
Installation
Okay.
and hosting. You just need to write your program.
All right. Okay.
Get the task and just complete the task. Just create the program. That's it.
Okay. Okay.
So suppose this one like a system.data.entity. This is related to the SQL part. So when you are working on the SQL application, then you need to include this library in your project. Until then, you don't need to use this. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you go see into the hover, whatever being shown into the hover, it is showing you like a version system.data.entity.dll. So DLL, we learn the DLL in later session. But for now, you don't need to learn all the things. You just need to learn the specific thing in .NET, okay, which are commonly
So-
used.
Okay. So whenever we need those things, then only we have to check those classes.
Yeah. So suppose you got a task where you need to send the email through the program.
Hmm.
Okay. So you got
Okay.
assignment, just need to send an email through the .NET program. Then you learn the email classes here. Until that, you don't need to learn them. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
suppose you are consuming some API, you are working on the payment area, you are working on many things can be into the program. You are just working on the notepad file. So there are different area there are different classes provided by Microsoft Form framework, but you learn them when you work on the real time project in the company.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Yeah. There you will get the time for the analysis, like just analysis the task, what we need to do. So when you get any assignment, also get the time for the analysis as well. Okay. Okay. Parna, any question for me?
Nothing. Just one extra question. Like, do you have any exposure to the mobile? What's
We,
called?
we
Mobile
never, yeah, we never create the mobile application as part of the .NET framework. Either Microsoft also provide, I think there is some technology into the .NET framework as well, but we never cover that in our syllabus.
Okay.
Okay, that is different one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Anything?
Nothing else, Pavan. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. So this is the demo for you. If you think like you can understand the thing, then we will go ahead. Okay. Just discuss with
Okay.
Satish.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.